Today, Sounds Gouda will conduct our fourth mock draft of the 2025 offseason. In today's episode, we will explore a trade back that will help maximize the Packers' positions of need in this upcoming draft.
Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm cash.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Sounds Gouda. And we are getting back to our very popular, very fun mock draft series. We're doing these about every other Saturday right now leading up to the NFL draft. They've been getting a lot of great responses, and we've really enjoyed interacting with you on these mock drafts. So my name is Jordan Olson, and my co-host and best friend over here is Rob Relf. As always, we want to thank any new and returning listeners. We are excited to be talking Packers football with you, and we have new episodes every Wednesday and Saturday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So you kind of know the deal, but for any new listeners, we will definitely explain our ground rules and how this works, and then we're going to get into it. So we're going to do a 7-round mock draft. We are still going to stay with PFF for today. And we still haven't seen some of the bugs worked out of PFN's model at this point in time. So staying with the old trusty. As we just discussed in our intro, we are going to do a trade back today that is going to help us maximize our value, particularly at wide receiver and corner. I have noticed that there are probably only like 3 to 5 guys that the Packers probably will draft, maybe 6 in the first 2 rounds. And I can't imagine that the Packers are the only teams that are going to need those guys, right? So if we need to address corner and wide receiver and defensive tackle and edge, obviously 3 picks is not enough to do that. And maybe at best with 3 picks, we're hopefully going to get 2 guys at positions of need we like, because it's just not going to fall perfectly for us. So how can we hedge our bets or trade back a little bit? And we're going to see if we can at least gain 3 positions of need in the first 2 days. So our priorities will be edge, defensive tackle, wide receiver, corner. And for a while we were talking about linebacker. I still think that's a priority for us. On day 3, though, we need probably just one more body to that room. But O-line, the more and more I think about it, adding depth even after we picked up Aaron Banks is probably really smart for now and the future. Today, Rob is going to be Brian Gutekunst, so he will make any final decisions on draft picks, and I will be the number one consultant and, information extraordinaire of how things will work in our system, and I'll be Matt LaFleur. So, Rob, let's get that thing set up and let's draft.
All right. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and for anybody who's not watching on YouTube, again, we're doing this on PFF. We have our sliders, our preferences all set right down the middle versus public and PFF, less versus more. Rob and I have done a couple of mocks like this, and we kind of hopefully know what to expect on this mock. But let's run it and find out.
All right, let's go. Entering in.
So before you go ahead and start that, Rob, we are gonna force this this trade. Well, let's do this. Let's run it and let's see who's interested in the pick, and then we're gonna force the trade. In a world where we're not trying to force a trade, there's a lot of names right here available to us that the Packers would probably be very highly interested. James Pierce just did a top 30 visit, although I don't think he's going to be a Green Bay Packer because he's 245 pounds and has some off-the-field concerns. Donovan Ezeuruke is also too light. He's probably a better chance to be a Green Bay Packer, especially with him being a former Boston College player and Jeff Hafley being comfortable with him. And we've got Kenneth Grant. I'm probably not trading back if I see Kenneth Grant available here, and I'm just taking that guy. We did have Derek Harmon, one of my other top favorite players, and Rob's top favorite players go the pick before to the Chargers. Okay, let's see what trades we have available. Maybe it's one that we're trying to project anyways. Oh, we have the Bills interested. And the Bills, the thing about the Bills, though, is in order to get fair trade value here, they're not going to give us pick 62 unless they're really desperate. That's not a fair trade value. And pick 109 from Chicago doesn't really give me the maximized value back that I'd be looking for. So what are other options?
With the Jets at pick 42, um, and then with the Steelers here, the next pick for the Steelers don't have a pick until 83. Wow. Uh,
So let's go ahead and let's propose that trade. We did this on our own simulation, trading back with the Kansas City Chiefs because we do think that this is a fair value. So go ahead and hit that slider, select the Chiefs.
and the one thing I like here about the Chiefs is they do have that extra pick here from Tennessee that makes this very, very reasonable.
Yeah, a little bit more palatable. Pick 31 and 95 in exchange for pick 23 seems to be a fair value on the charts. I know they're not interested right now, but we're going to pretend on draft day that the Kansas City Chiefs picked up the phone and they want to make this trade. So we're going to force this trade, and then we're going to see how this shakes out.
All right, let's do it.
All right, Goody, tell us who you like.
All right away. Nick Scorton here from Texas A&M. Really love him. Darius Alexander, we finally found an age on him, and he is old. What is he, Jordan? Almost 25, 24?
He's 24 right now, and he will be 25 in August. So he is old as dirt. And maybe I would take him with like a third round pick, but I mean, you're talking about a one contract guy with a premium pick. I'm out on him.
Alec Ayomanor for the wide receiver from Stanford, I really like. If the Packers wanted to do something that they haven't done for many, many, many years, draft a wide receiver in the first round still, technically. I do like him.
Jack Besh,
Jack
Tyreek
Besh.
Williams, Trey
There's Trey
Amos.
Amos. Trey Amos will be gone too
Mhm.
by the next time that he'd come around. So that one is very intriguing to me.
Yeah, I mean, so I've been thinking more and more about this. I think there's scarcity at the corner position and the wide receiver position, and now our premium D tackles are gone. Um, I'm not saying we have to draft them in the first and second rounds, but I kind of am. I like it. We might get a guy to fall back to the third that we like, but if we want to, if we want to definitely get a Packers type at corner and wide receiver, we're probably going to have to address those in the first two picks. So,
Yep,
what do you
agreed.
think, Rob? Do we take Nick Scorton, or do we look at corner or wide receiver with this pick?
I'm gonna go a different route here. We if you didn't just catch our cornerback deep dive, Trey Amos it was in our green tier, so somebody
Mm-hmm.
that does meet the Packers thresholds. I believe that he's a day one starter on the outside. He can come in immediately. The Packers just lost a bunch of cornerbacks, including Robbie Rochelle, right to the Chiefs. So they need some depth there. I think Trey Amos would come in immediately and fit this Packers secondary. So I'm gonna make that
I
call.
love it.
I'm gonna make that call and go ahead and draft him.
That's sweet because now I hope that we see one of the wide receivers we like in the second round, and then
That's
we're
the
going to have
hope.
some fun. Oh, baby. Do we need to have any further discussion? But if you're listening on audio, we are excited because the Packers' super darling Jaden Higgins fell to us at pick 54. Um, and if you've been listening along, I don't know that we're gonna discuss anybody else right now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think that this. I don't think that this will happen in real life. I guess I'd be shocked if it did. But yeah, Jaden Higgins, Packers type, comes in immediately too without the use of Christian Watson, at least until week 10, healing from his injury. Catch the ball, really good, fluid, great route running, good separation. I'm drafting him. So
Yeah, two other players available here. Siobhan Revel, corner from East Carolina. If we didn't just take Trey Amos and we liked his medicals, he could be an option for us. And JTT, the edge rusher from Ohio State. Obviously, that's still a position of need that we have not addressed. But we didn't talk about this in our previous show, and I'm sad. It kind of seems like old news now, but we did add McCole Hardman to the wide receiver room. he's not the same speed guy he once was. Actually, I think he can stretch the field a little bit, but he's more of a gadgets screen receiver, can help us on special teams. Jaden Higgins unlocks us with that possession receiver guy who also can stretch the field. So just more justification why we take him.
Absolutely. All right. Drafted Jaden Higgins with our second round.
So we've taken corner and we've taken wide receiver. So we're looking for defensive tackle, edge, offensive line help. So what do we got available? Ooh, CJ West just went a few picks before us. And Elijah Roberts, two players that I would like in the third round, but they're gone.
Shout out to Mike McGee. We know that CJ West is one of your darlings. I think he is your prospect darling, and you've been really good with engaging with us too. So if he were on the board, Big Mike, just want to let you know he might be the pick here.
I really like Wyatt
I do too.
Millam from
Yep.
West Virginia, and I think that he adds an immediate swing tackle option for us and maybe an eventual replacement for Rasheed Walker after the season if you don't give him the contract that he's probably going to garner.
Yeah, there's no one else here besides that one that I'm really in love with.
Savion Williams is a guy you might consider had you not gotten Jaden Higgins, although he's got hand issues. Harold Fanta Jr., Dorian Strong. Dorian Strong is a guy who, again, maybe will be a little rich for me at pick, in the third round. Fourth round, I'd probably consider him. Jacob Parrish, we already got our corner. I think the room gets a little full there early. I think we strengthen our line. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I think that's the one that at least is coming up for me too.
Open his profile up a little bit. Let's share just a little more information about why we like Wyatt Millam since we haven't done our offensive line deep dive.
Yeah, I mean, graded out of 91 for PFF grade from this last year, but elite run blocking grade and pass blocking grade, tone grade, and a true pass block grade. 0 sacks and 0 hits, and only 6 hurries for 2024. And if I'm reading this correctly too, he's never given up a sack in his 3 years at West Virginia. That is incredible.
One hit. Scroll down a little bit more there too. Packers love guys who play left tackle, and then to move them around with versatility. Typically, your left tackle is your best position on the offensive line. It's your best guy. So he's been West Virginia's best guy for 3 years on that line. And if you go to his height and weight, I think he's very Packers. He's there
Yes,
as
he is.
well.
Yes, he is.
317. So keep your eyes out for Wyatt Millam. I think we're going to take him.
Yes, we are. Doesn't get much better than that, man. That seems like tremendous value.
We're crushing this draft right now. Maybe you all don't think so. I think we're crushing it.
I'm sure we're gonna get crushed for something we didn't do, but that's how it works. It's not perfect, and we try to do the best that we can. So, all right.
We're only a couple picks later now, pick 95. So this was the extra pick that we got from the Kansas City Chiefs. So this is where we have a little bit of flexibility, either add a player or have some fun. Are you thinking about having some fun?
Thinking about having some fun. Yeah. I still think an H-back in this system, i.e. Kyle Juszczyk, shout out. But Harold Fanta Jr., I know he had some bad testing, I believe, but man, you just put on the tape, you just forget the testing. The kid can play. And Jordan, you said that you've seen him, right? Play,
Uh-huh.
in
Yeah, he's a
live. And
MAC prospect, so I've seen him
yeah,
play.
yep. I just think that he could be very fun for the Packers.
He's not terrible. 7.57 unofficial. I think the biggest things bringing him down are his height and weight for a tight end. He had a 4.7 40-yard dash. He had an excellent 3-cone, a sub 7-second 3-cone, which the Packers are going to like him as an athlete. So if he was 6'4", 6'5", his RAS would be above 8. And again, if we are looking at him as a gadget player, and I'm looking at his official measurements right now,
Uh-huh.
6'3", 241. So he's heavier and shorter, but
Uh-huh.
I think he's a, we liked the idea of Josiah DeGuara, but this guy is immediately better than Josiah DeGuara, a much better athlete. And I know Matt LaFleur likes a weapon like that, likes the idea of a weapon like that.
Yeah, and almost a 96 PFF grade too. Drop rate isn't terrible, at 3.3%. Yards per route run, 3.77. Excellent receiving grade. Pretty good in the contested catch rate too. Had some really good games most of his career too, or at least this last season, I should say. But
Mhm. And look at those
I
stats: 1,555 yards and 10 TDs. I believe
yeah
he was the MAC Offensive Player of the Year this past year. So let's just draft him. Matt
yep.
LaFleur likes him.
Let's do it.
Me being Matt LaFleur likes him. So, and assuming that the real Matt LaFleur might like him as well.
Yep.
So we're done with day 2 now, and now we're into day 3, and we have addressed corner, wide receiver, offensive line, and we got a fun toy for Jordan Love in this offense. So I really think that, we're still short edge and defensive tackle. We're definitely going to get dinged for that, but let's see if we
Aeneas
can find somebody like.
Aeneas Pebbles was another one that just went about 6 picks to the Falcons. He would have been one that would have been on my board for a pick here for defensive line.
A couple guys that are there. That Jamari Caldwell, he had a terrible RAS. And so I don't think, even though he's a defensive tackle on the board, he's somebody I'm staying away from right now. Corey Horton, although with the addition of Hardman, if we're going to keep him on the roster and us adding in Jaden Higgins, I don't know that we'll draft another wide receiver early. Tyler Batty is an option for us at edge. And I also really like Jack Kaiser too, if we wanted to add a linebacker to this room that I do think could be an immediate Sam starter in
Mhm.
this system. So Savion Jones I like too. I like Savion Jones. Who does Rob like?
Tyler Batty one here is interesting. I was looking for the Texas defensive tackle. He might still be later on, or he might have gotten picked. I forgot what his name was, but Broughton or Brighton. But he was one that I've recently come on to that I've gotten good value and I've taken him in a couple of mocks. But let's see. Savion Jones. Let's open him up real quick. 75 PFF grade for 2024. 5 sacks, 6 hits, 32 hurries. 76, almost a 77 pass rush grade. Not as good in the run defense grade. About middle of the pack, but almost graded out at a 70. Let's look at his measurables. 6 long, big defensive. He does have good effort too. Good effort, good length. I like that one.
Yeah, I think the 3 players for me right now are Savion Jones, Tyler Batty, or Jack Kaiser. So if you got Matt LaFleur's stamp of approval on 3 guys, I would select one of those and either improve our edge or just really shore up our linebacker room and not worry about it.
Yeah, I'm going with Savion Jones here. That will
Hmm.
help out our edge room.
I like him a lot. I like him a lot, and you know, we'll see what he brings to the table if we drafted him in 25. So Tyler Batty's still there. Quincy Riley, so we could add some additional corner depth at this point in time.
Mhm.
Isaac T-Slaw is a guy I like, although I think I've already stated that our wide receiver room is a little fuller now.
Mhm.
Joyner, Logan Brown, Cody Lindbergh. So we still haven't added a linebacker. I do like Cody Lindbergh, and I do like Jason Monheim as well, a lot as a Packers type. He's picked rank 184. He's played 3 positions, I think: tackle, guard, and center. The only knock on him is that he's got pretty short arms, so he's probably more of an interior player, a guard, a center. but I think he's somebody who could be a swing tackle for you in a pinch. And again, we've talked about him a little in the past. If Sam Seal gives him the seal of approval, he could be a Green Bay Packer.
Yeah, I think I like him the best, and adding to our line too as well. So
The line kind of drops off from here a little bit too. Like I feel really good about our line if we got Millum who can play tackle for us and add one more interior guy who has tackle versatility.
Mhm.
Um, I like that at this position of the draft, and then we don't have to worry about that later on.
drafting Jonah Monheim from USC.
Perfect, 3 picks left.
Mhm.
We've got an edge. We're good on offensive line depth. We're still seeking a defensive tackle and a linebacker, maybe backup quarterback of the future. Oh, I see Caleb Ranstraw there too, which we don't need. But if we got rid of Jair Alexander, Robert Rochelle is gone. Who knows if Kalen King will ever work out? Uh, we still may need a fifth corner
Mhm.
on this team, and I really like Tyler. It's actually Shuck. We thought it was Show, but I was listening to the combine again, and I don't know how you get Shuck out of that, but I think I really think that Tyler Shuck is a great option to be the Packers, backup quarterback of the future. I like him in the system a lot. I would go with Shuck or Ranstraw personally.
Anybody here from the defensive line you like?
Yeah, Junior Tafana, actually, I like him. Let me just pull up my big board on him really quick.
Mhm. I'll pull him up here too as well because I do want to get a defensive lineman.
He's 6'3", 308, ran a 5.0340 time and 1.8 10-yard split. He's got a 6.86 RAS, but now we're talking about being in the sixth round. And the Packers have made concessions on their RAS with defensive linemen before, Uh,
Mhm.
I like him a lot at this pick, actually. I don't know that he's ever going to be a frontline guy, but he's somebody who could maybe replace Colby Wooden, whether it's, taking a spot on the roster this year or just, being a nice body for that room moving forward.
Yeah, and an elite run defender too. Looks like.
hmm Which we lost that in TJ Slayton, right?
Yep. So he's going to be my pick for here.
You are now a Green Bay Packer Junior Tafana from Utah.
Yep. Two more picks left, 237 and 250.
So still use a linebacker. Teddy Buchanan's a guy that we liked before there, big enough to play Sam. Let's just see what our other. Oh, I like Fidel Diggs too. I really like Fidel Diggs more than I like taking another linebacker right now because we could still find another guy for that room.
Agreed. Let's just bring him up real quick.
This was a green tier guy for us. I think he's just a little bit poor against the run. But again, you're taking a guy in the seventh round who's 6'5", 260, and can bring you a lot of pass rush. I like Fidel Diggs a lot here.
Yeah, I do too as well. Elite pass rusher.
15.1% pass rush win rate. That's an outstanding number. 8 sacks this last year.
Let's do it.
Let's make him a Green Bay Packer.
Fidel Diggs was our next pick from Syracuse, the edge. And going on down with our last pick.
I can still get our linebacker there, which we haven't addressed. I'm uh, I'm all for that. Teddy Buchanan from Cal.
I agree too. I'm just taking a quick peek here on down below. Yep. Teddy Buchanan's going to be the one. Let's pick.
Great value there too to add a fifth linebacker to that room.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see what my grade is at.
Who cares more about these PFF grades than I do? I give us an A+
I do too. It
on
seems
this
pretty
mock
good.
draft.
Yeah.
PFF is not going to give us an A.
No, they won't.
B.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Care what they think, but
All
well,
right.
Rob,
So
give us the yeah.
get a rundown. Yeah. So we forced the trade with the Kansas City Chiefs. It behooved us. They weren't on here ready to receive it, but we forced that trade as they do have an extra pick there from Tennessee. So they moved up and got our 23rd overall pick. We got their 31 and round 3, 95 pick. And with round 1 and 31, we took Trey Amos out of Ole Miss, the cornerback. Round 2, pick 54, got the wide receiver Jaden Higgins that fell into our lap. Could not pass that up. Round 3, 87, the tackle, Wyatt Millum out of West Virginia. Really love him. Round 3 and the extra pick, 95, we ended up getting the H-back tight end extraordinaire, Harold Fannin Jr. Would love to see what he could do in this offense. Round 4, 124, LSU edge, Savion Jones. Round 5, 159, the center / guard, Jonah Monheim.
Mm-hmm.
Round 6, 198, the defensive lineman, Junior Tafana. Round 7, 237, the edge, Fidel Diggs. Got a really good grade on that one. And then we rounded out giving some more depth into our linebacking room with Cal, linebacker Teddy Buchanan. So, well, that takes us to the end of this mock draft. We hope that you all enjoyed it. I'll go ahead and stop sharing this. Let us all know what you think. What did you like? What did you not like? Was there a prospect maybe we missed that you really love or are banging the board for? As always, we do have new content every Wednesday and Saturday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And be sure to be on the lookout for more NFL prospect deep dives in our series for that too. We're taking a lot of energy and effort and to be able to get that data, those thresholds, and some of those agility scores to be able to put out for you guys too. So for Packers types coming up. Just know that Jordan and I are on the socials. Jordan is at Olsen Jordan, and I am at Sounds Gouda with 3 A's. But yeah, as always, let us know what you think. And we appreciate it. And we hope that you have a Gouda morning, a Gouda afternoon, and a Gouda night. Take care. Go Pack Go.
Been wanted this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey.